Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dude here, and today we're back with another GR3 setup video. Now, 2 setup videos ago, we did the Peugeot RCZ. Today, we're going to be doing the Peugeot VGT. Now, obviously, don't get fooled by the fact that they have the same manufacturer title, because they cannot drive any differently from each other. So the first thing to note about the Peugeot VGT is it has no traction whatsoever coming out of low speed corners. So if you're someone who struggles getting back to the throttle on some of the lower speed corners, it really does have a hard time, especially in those first and second gear corners. Now the Peugeot VGT actually has best in class top speed. Now it doesn't accelerate as well as the McLaren F1 does, but it's pretty close, and it actually goes 1 mile per hour faster on the top end, which is an interesting fact, at least with the setups that I use. So basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to want to stick to tracks that have lots and lots of straights. Maybe not so much tracks like Monza, due to the fact that the car again is really painfully bad in low speed corners compared to some of the other Group 3s. But tracks like Tokyo, really any of the Tokyo variants, this car is extremely good. I will definitely say that this car is a low floor, high ceiling type of car. If you find the right tracks for it, it can be the best car in the world. But if you're maybe a lesser experienced driver driving it on a track that maybe it's not the best at, you won't find as much success with it. But before we get into the setup, I just want to say quickly, if you guys enjoy this setup and or the video, feel free to leave a like and a comment. It really does help me out as a small YouTuber. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So as we get into the Peugeot VGT setup here, I'll scroll down so you guys can get a good look at it. There's a suspension and everything like that. Obviously the ride heights are a little bit different than what I would normally do on other cars because it oversteers quite a bit. Same with the rear roll bar. But coming down on the transmission, now I'm going to give you guys some specific instructions on what to do with this transmission. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is reset it to default. The second thing you're going to want to do is put it to 5.000 on the final gear. That's the first thing you want to do. Once you move your final gear to 5.000, you're going to want to move your auto set top speed to 124 or all the way to the left if you're in kilometers an hour. And after you're done that, you're going to want to go back to the final gear and put it to 3.040 as shown obviously in the video here. So once you complete those 3 sets, you can set the individual gears the way that they are in the picture or in the video. And yeah, that's the rest of the setup here. Like I said, it thrives on certain tracks, on other tracks not so much, but you can definitely get some really amazing times on the tracks that this car is good at. I really do kind of make it out to be doom or gloom with this car, but truthfully, you can really drive it almost anywhere and have a good time with it. It's also one of the most unique cars in the Group 3 category. I think that goes without saying. So yeah, let's get right into this lap. So here we are at Tokyo Eastedder Loop. To commence our hot lap here. We're actually in the middle of a race, so hopefully we can end up getting a good lap here as the lap starts on the straight. Obviously, as I mentioned, this car is unbelievably good on the straights, and it also has a decent amount of high-speed handling, so this Tokyo track is definitely well suited to this car. Maybe save a couple corners. It's not the best in a couple of the hairpins, but this is one of the tougher corners coming up here. Obviously, you're going to go heavy on the brakes right before the 100 or right after the 100 marker. Get the car turned in. This thing rotates on throttle pretty well, but you don't want to get any wheel spin. Get the car turned in as low as you can. Could have went a little lower there, but I used all the available track on the exit to get a good exit. Second gear is usually a little bit tough in this car, but that corner was set up nicely enough that I got a good exit. Now obviously these S's you can take flat pretty easily, but it's probably the hardest corner on the track. Maybe not for this car, but it's up there. You really got to use all the track if you want to carry that much speed through there, mid 150s through that S. Now this follow-up section is full throttle in most cars, as it is in this car, but you still got to get the line right, otherwise you'll hit the wall. Now this section's interesting. You really want to sacrifice your entry or your exit on this corner to set up for the next corner and get a good run down this, because this, believe it or not, will gain you a lot of time because the straight is substantial. So getting a good exit in that last corner is super important. Even more important is getting a good exit in this next corner. Obviously, this is probably where the car struggles the most. It hates hairpins. We're going to feather the gas, get into second gear. That was probably one of the best I've taken, honestly, on this track. One of the best hairpins for sure. But yeah, we're definitely up on our lap here. So let's see what it's going to be at the line. Going into 5th gear. Into 6th gear before the line, I'm sure. right there. Coming to the line, and we got a 147.255 to end the race. Now, I think this lap could be optimized down to a 146, but that's a pretty good standard, just normal lap that you guys can shoot for. You know, it's really one of the setups that I'm the most proud of, because it did take a lot of work to get this car to be stable on a road course, but also still have the cornering capabilities to compete with some of the better cars. So yeah, it was a pretty big deal when I made this setup, and I think it's even equally as big a deal now that I get to share it with you guys. Really enjoy this one. Again, straight line speed tracks are your friend, but hairpins are not your friend. So try to find those tracks where this car's strong suits are magnified and where its weaknesses are not as prominent. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Remember to leave a like on the video and comment if you did enjoy the video or the setup. It really does help me a lot. Obviously, being a small YouTuber, the algorithm is not always in my favor. So if you guys can leave a like and subscribe and comment and click that notification bell so you never miss a setup video. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. It's Dude. I'm out. Peace.